Hello and welcome to the Community Voice. I'm Fara Sax. I'm so excited for my next guest, Alex Rodriguez-Roig. Happy birthday tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yeah. He told me off camera, so I have to just, give him the promo. He is the president of the board of Miami-Dade and has been at the helm since 2003. The mission of the Boys and Girls Club is for mentorship and for programming.
Yes, correct.
And you serve 6,000 kids annually?
Yes.
6 different locations?
6 different locations we serve. And the goal, like as you mentioned, the goal is really to provide a productive environment for the youth in our community. So when they're out of school, they're with us. They're off the streets, they're in a productive environment, they're having fun, they're learning, they're growing in a safe and nurturing environment. In a nutshell.
What are some of the programming? And welcome, by the way.
Thank you.
Welcome again.
Thanks for having me here. It's fun to be here.
It is.
So the programming, I always say it's almost like a 3-legged stool. The first part of that is our after-school educational program, which is right when kids get out of school, they come to us. It's homework assistance, it's STEM, it's arts, it's social skills, it's dance, it's fitness, activity, sports, those kind of things. That's that 2 to 7 o'clock time frame. And in that part, we also recently, I'm say probably in the last 7-8 years, we really took a focus on teens, on high school kids. So we have a teen program at each one of the locations. And what that does is we're providing programs that enable them to get ready for their next step. In other words, maybe SAT prep, college prep, career readiness, workforce readiness, whatever their goal might be. Our job is really to help them make sure they have a plan. Because there's nothing worse than a kid say, hey, I'm graduating next week. And they're like, yeah, what are you doing? I don't know. That's not an answer. You got to have some kind of plan.
And how do these kids get to you from after school?
Sure. So they're in 3 locations, we transport them ourselves. We have buses that we bring them in. Particularly like Kendall, South Beach, and our Northwest Club have transportation. Kendall, it's very spread out, so the schools aren't, it takes a while to get there. And some other places, some of the high school kids will walk, or there's other methods that they get there. In our club on 32nd Avenue, we have a charter school that's on property. So a lot of the kids, really, we just pick them up at the school and walk them over to the facility. So there's different ways of them getting there. And in some cases, sometimes the parents, they take that as their lunch and bring them to the club during that time. So they just drop them off and go back. So that's kind of, that's how they get there in the afternoon. Then you have the other leg of the stool that I call it, is the workday programs, the full day programs, your teacher work days, your spring breaks, summer camps, all those days when basically the kids are out of school and their parents are like, what do I do? I've got to go to work. It's not a holiday. I can't take off. What do I do? So that's where we're open from 8 o'clock in the morning to 6 o'clock in the afternoon. That's on, like I said, summer, spring break, and teacher work days.
And what I find fascinating that 7.7 million kids and teens are unsupervised after school.
Yeah.
And how many of these have access to after-school programming that is provided by the Boys and Girls Clubs?
Sure. I mean, our mission is never ending. I mean, we'll never fulfill the mission because there's 330,000 kids in Dade County, students. And, we serve 6,000, which is a good number, but there's still a lot of kids that are doing, that need services like ours. And of course, all of them don't need it, but many of them do. And, our job is really to be there for those kids every single afternoon. And that's the difference that we're making in terms of, like, the more time we spend together, the more impact you're going to have on me and I'll possibly have on you. If we spend, 10 minutes together, but if we spend every day, hours and hours.
Well, we have 30 minutes, so it's good.
So
you
we're
and I, we're going to have a relationship and maybe affect each other.
So imagine if we did that every day.
Yeah.
We'd have a real strong relationship, and that's the relationship that when we're talking about mentoring and bonding with the kids, that's the relationship that our folks have with the kids, that our staff has with the kids, to really make an impact on their life, help them get ahead, help them learn. And a lot of the kids that we serve are kids that come from working class families or poor families that really don't have opportunities to go to programs like this. So that's the concept. The concept is just, let's provide these kids that next step, that next barrier, so they need to get to the next place in life.
So let's for one location, how many people are provided in that staff?
It varies from club to club. We have, for example, our Hen Klein Club, which is on 32nd Avenue. That one sees, just in the after school program, over 500 kids a day.
Wow.
And then the other ones, obviously, because we don't have the school presence there, and we bring them in or whatnot, they average about 100 to 150 kids a day just in the after school program. Now, the other leg of the stool that I didn't mention is the sports side of it. A lot of kids come in the afternoon, later part of the afternoon, 4:30, 5 o'clock, for our sports, for our more competitive sports, baseball, basketball, football, cheerleading, those type of things. Those are seasonal, but they're ongoing all year long. And in those we have, we have thousands of kids. Just to give you an example, right now it's football season. I mean, we know it because all you do is watch on Thursday,
football
Friday.
But wait, I think of football season, I'm thinking cool weather. I'm thinking breeze in the air.
Yeah. No, hot.
It's 115 degrees.
Hot and muggy.
Yeah.
And we have about 650 kids playing tackle football every single day, every afternoon, and about 300 plus cheerleaders every single afternoon on top of everything that I've mentioned. So it's fantastic because sports can be a driving vehicle in many communities. It's like, that's what I want to do. If you think about it, we all look forward to something on the weekends, right? Hey, maybe going to the beach. So what does a student look forward to? Sports many times. It's like, I want to do this thing after school. After school.
Exactly. Let me get to after school.
Exactly.
That's when the fun begins.
Exactly. But you got to do okay in school. You got to do well in school. We're going to help you there, because if not, there's no sports.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And how do these clubs inspire and support these children at a time when they're very vulnerable at these ages?
Yes. And as they get older, it gets more difficult, because there's many more factors that influence. And as parents, when their kids get older, they're like, well, just walk home. Or a best case scenario, a teenager would walk home and do nothing at home. But we know that that's not even a good scenario, because it's idle time is always time to get in trouble. So we have to have very creative programs. We have to have really fun and engaging stuff to make sure that they're coming to us, that they say, I want to go there, get me there.
Is there a cost?
So there is, and I'm glad you asked that, because the main reason we charge is because we want people to have a buy-in into what we're doing. And now we never turn a kid away for the inability to pay. If they say, look, I can't pay, and there's a scholarship for us, they don't pay. All of our costs are kept really low. We have a really bad business model. Because in a business model, you're going to make money. In our cases, we look at what the going rate for a program like ours would be, and we got to make sure we're less than half of that. That's our rule of thumb. So if it's at 100, we need to make sure we're less than 50.
So how do you get funding for that gap?
That's where the magic comes. I can't tell you everything. It's live, right? I can't. No, I'm just kidding. So we do it through individuals.
You're a fun guy. I think this 30 minutes are really going to go really fast.
Oh, okay. Well, we're done. I'm just kidding. Individuals, family foundations, public dollars, Children's Trust, United Way, those type of things. Wherever there's an opportunity for us to solicit, we will. Events, of course. The one thing I want to mention, though, when it comes to fundraising, is we don't have any givens. And what I mean by that is, like, well, for there's in a program that says for every kid that you have in your program, somebody, the government will automatically give you X. That doesn't exist for us. If we get any kind of local, state, or federal dollars, it's all competitive, which means we've competitively, applied for this through a grant process and whatnot. So every year, sometimes it's a battle every year to be able to do that. But we have a great team, and we have a great board of directors that helps us on the event side, on the individual side, on the foundation sides, and those type of things.
Let's talk about some of those signature events.
Sure.
Let's go with Claws for Kids.
Oh, that's a fun one.
Joe Stonecrab.
Mm-hmm. We
have some video, or we have some pictures. Here we go. So tell me a bit about that.
Sure. That's a fun one. That is basically we have Joe's just to ourselves, and you get to just kind of just be casual. Not fancy, just go in and go as yourself. You take a group of people, you get dirty eating crabs and all this kind of stuff. You wear the funny bibs, and it's a great event to raise money for the Boys and Girls Clubs.
And I see the kids are in a couple of these shots right now too.
Yes. So it's all about having a good time and raising money for the club. The cool thing is that we Joe's is just for us, so it's almost like it's like when you have a table.
I love the bibs.
Yes,
the signature bibs.
It's like sitting with family. You invite some people, you sit down, you have a good time, you eat, you mingle, and you meet other folks, and it's just a fun time. And anytime when you eat with your hands, I think it takes you back to like when you were baby or something, and you just have fun with it, especially when you're allowed to do it and not to worry about it.
Wait, it takes us back. Some days I just do it all the time, right?
When no one's
Forget
looking
the
at
fork and knife. That's right. Yeah, this is wonderful. So there's a signature events, and people from the community are involved, and they come out and they support Joe's, and it looks like it's been a lot of fun crab eating experience there.
Yes, it's a lot of fun.
And you also do a golf classic.
Yes. So a little tidbit of history, which I wish I could verify, and maybe you guys can help me verify this since you guys are in the new stuff. But I've been told that our golf tournament is the longest running charity golf tournament in Miami.
Wow.
Because I think we're on our 55th year.
And where do you meet?
We're doing it at Deering Bay.
Wow, not so shabby, eh?
No, not so shabby, yes.
And so here we are. This is last year's?
Yes.
They all look so happy.
Well, I mean, it's Monday, and you're not at work, and you're playing golf.
Life is good.
And so you're having a good time, and everybody's having a good time. And our partners come out and they help us, and everybody just has a great time playing golf out there. So it's always a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Like I said, it's been going on for a long time. So we have some folks that have been coming for 20, 30 years to the tournament or more.
And again, raising money for a good cause to help supply and support this wonderful cause in our young people in our community.
Yes. And to run programs well, it's expensive. Cost of living's up, everything's up. So, and we want to make sure that our staff is well taken care of. So, and to attract the best, you sometimes need to pay a little more. Even though our mission is a heart mission, it's obviously once you're in there. I mean, I started there back in 1996. Not expecting to be there that long, but it kind of grows on you.
Absolutely. You were a kid from Cuba. You came here when you were 5 years old. You started working with a Boys and Girls Club at 6.
Yes. Yes. For those keeping count, I'm 30 years old.
Me too. Shh, don't tell anybody.
Yes. So I started in 1996, and it was a part-time job. I was still going to college. And it just kind of grows on you.
But did you think this was going to be just like my little side hustle,
Yes.
and then I'm just going to become something else?
Yes. I was studying biology, so I was probably going to go to either chiropractic school, medical school, something like that in the medical field.
When did that change for you? When did you realize that my mission is changed, that my direction needs to be a different north than I expected?
Yeah. So there's 2 points. One was when I finished college, and you think you've been in school forever. Here I'm 22, 23 years old. I'm like, oh my God, it's been forever. I'm done with this.
My life is over.
Yes. So I need to take a break before I do the next step. And at that time, the club said, hey, we got a full-time job. We want you to try out. And I said, okay, let me try it out. So that was step one. But then years later, I had the same question, and I really had to dig deep to figure out when was that. And I don't think I knew when it happened, but I think it was somewhere, it was 97 or 98.
How do you remember those dates? I can't remember.
I know, but I remember the event. I don't remember and because I had to dig deep. I'm telling you, I was really dig. It's probably during COVID. You're like sitting there trying to figure out what what life is all about. But anyway,
am I going to be in my house the rest of my life?
Yes, kind of one of those kind of moments.
Yeah.
And it took me back to, I think it was like I said, 97 or 98, and there was a girl that came to the club, and I was at Kendall, and it was Valentine's Day, and she brought me like a card with a little chocolate thing, a little Valentine's card, and it ended with something, thank you for helping me learn how to read. At the time I said, oh, how cute, whatnot. But it kept coming back. And then when I was digging deep, at that moment it kept coming back. So I'm thinking that's the seed that was planted in me that say, you know what, this feels good, and you're doing something good, and you're helping kids, and you're helping folks that normally, don't get this much help.
Do you remember her name?
No. I don't remember what she looks like.
What would you say to that young girl now if you had the opportunity?
Oh, okay, I've never had that question. Never thought about that question.
Right.
I think the simplest thing is to say thank you. Say thank you for being honest and just telling me thank you for learning how to read, helping you learn to read.
And sometimes you don't know if whose life is more affected by an experience, if it's you or the recipient.
Yes,
and sometimes it's both.
Many times, if it's done right, it's hopefully both, right? Because at the end of the day, that's what we got: our memories and our thoughts, and our the impact that someone had on us. At some point, someone impacts you. So I say sometimes you might say something, and you don't even know. And I tell this to staff all the time at the clubs. I say we don't know what we're doing. What we've done today that impacts somebody. It's going to change their life forever. Whether it's an event, when we have, recently we had some of the Dolphin players come to the clubs and do book bag giveaways. You don't know what kind of day that kid's having that all of a sudden says, hey, everything's going to be okay. And it switches, or you told them something, you said something that like I did. I taught her to read because I thought that was the right thing to do, and she needed to learn. Not that I was going to change her life or change mine, but somehow it did. And like I said, if she was standing here, right, I wouldn't know what she looks like. I don't remember her name. I don't remember anything. I just don't remember.
But it was that moment. It was that moment of
Mm-hmm.
That moment. You've changed my life as well.
And I didn't know it at the time either.
Right.
It was years later that I had to think about it and say, okay, you know what? Maybe that definitely was a seed that was planted there. There's probably other moments, but that definitely was probably the first one I remember.
You're nurturing young minds, and you're a father. You have 2 daughters we talked about.
Yes.
And they were part of the evolution and your growth, as well as their own growth, of being part of the Boys and Girls Clubs of Miami-Dade. You just took a deep breath. What was that about?
Yeah. Well, because, obviously it's your kids, and you always want to, what we're instilling at the club, which is a sense of belonging, a sense of growth, to kind of prepare you for the world. And as a father, I always wanted to prepare my daughters for the world. I always, you think, it might be a little bit kind of dark to think, at some point I'm not going to be here, but I need to know that they're going to be okay, and that I've done the best I can to prepare them for life. So that's why, both of my girls went to the club during the summers. They would go to the club. I wanted them to experience all the field trips, because the summers are more about experience. It's about, let's take these kids to the movies. Let's take them to the zoo, to the beach, airboat rides, all these places that for us it sounds simple, but for a lot of kids it's never been there. And going with us is the only opportunity to get to expose them. And we learn from experiences. What better way to learn from experiences than take them places? Last week, we took 120 kids to a premiere movie that's not even out yet. That comes out, I think it comes out this weekend. But they saw it last week. And some of those kids had never been to a movie theater. And then the actors came on and all these. It was really neat to have them see this movie. So yeah, it's exciting to be able to do it. And that changes you. It changes everybody. So I wanted my kids to experience that as well. And then when they were later, I said, hey, they probably still don't know. So if they hear this, it's going to be the first time they hear this.
You listening? Yes. What's their names?
Oh my God, they're going to listen. They're going to hear this one. I told them I needed help in the clubs because we were tight on money, and I needed them to volunteer and help in the concession stand, to help give out lunches and that kind of stuff during the summer. And they said, okay, no problem. I was doing that for the reason that I wanted them to deal with individuals on a serving basis, like they're serving. So you kind of get the other side of it. You're just not just a kid now. You're helping and you're part of the team. So we need them. We were okay. We didn't need them to volunteer, but I needed them, and the opportunity was there. So we do that. And so we do a lot of volunteering. I mean, all of our sports programs are really run by volunteers. I mean, we could not do it without the parents and the individuals that volunteer. I mean, there's some volunteers that their kids came to the club. Their kids are done, went to college, came back. They're working, and now they're volunteering, and the dad or the mom is still volunteering. It's just a matter of, it just feels good to help. Because
you at the head have taught the humanity by showing who you are and bringing your kids to the club as well, and growing with this experience, growing in the organization. So that really, it starts with the head, and the rest of it just comes. And it's wonderful to see this in our community where there's so much divisiveness, that you're bringing people together.
You're absolutely right. I mean, it really is about, and it's not me, it's everybody. It's our whole team.
But it starts with you.
Yes, and I have to set the example. But at the same time, it's having so many amazing people. I mean, we have, I think, about 105 staff members at the clubs, and they're all amazing people. I mean, they work really hard for the kids. They go way beyond. It's not a paycheck. If it's a paycheck, people don't last, because this is beyond a paycheck. It's about helping the community, helping kids, families. And when a mom or a dad comes and says just as simple with water your eyes and say thank you. Like last week, 120 computers, we handed out 120 laptops last week, and they say just come and say thank you. I don't even want to see them anymore, because I get all, and I was like, no, you guys just handle it. Just tell me the stories later. I really don't even want to see that, because I get all emotional, so I don't want to do that.
What was the most emotional you've ever been on this journey that you've been on?
Oh my goodness, I think
Besides the candy and the Valentine's Day.
So since you aged me already, and you told me I've been in this position for 21 years.
No, you said it. I just helped you say it.
Oh my, okay. So when I was celebrating my 10th anniversary in this position, and we were having a board dinner, and I didn't think I would be there 10 years later. I don't think like that. I think more of like, what am I doing now and whatnot.
Can't see the forest from the trees kind of thing, right?
Yeah, kind of,
day
right. And I think when I was able to be at that dinner and thank my family, in particular, I had my parents there. I invited them to be there. And the moment I looked at my mom and dad, that was it. It was just like, oh, I couldn't hold it.
And it's your mom's birthday today.
It was yesterday. My mom's birthday was yesterday.
Mom, happy birthday.
Felicidades, mama. And so, yes, when I saw them, that was my 10th year. And I think I remember that moment. I said, this feels, I can't believe it's been 10 years. And then it's like, wow, this is pretty good. So yeah, there's a lot of moments in between, but
absolutely,
yeah, that's one.
Absolutely. And one of the gala that's up and coming. Wild About Kids. It's
Yes.
October 26th at
Yes.
the Lowe's, Coral Gables. Not too shabby.
No, it's a really, really fantastic venue. It's our second year doing it there. We've been doing it in different venues, but Lowe's opened up, I think, 3 years ago.
70s theme.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Disco balls and everything.
That's what it's all about.
So we also have some photos I want to show you from last year. Let our audience see.
Yeah, there we
Wild
go.
About Kids
Look at that.
Gala.
That looks
This was last year?
This was last year. We had all sorts of, it was Motown, the theme.
Oh my God, how much fun. And this year, tell me about this year, what we're going to have.
Oh, so it's exciting. We have a great music. I mean, it's just one big party. One of the things that people always comment on our galas is that our galas is not a lot of talking, because we go there to have fun, right? Everybody goes there to have a good time and party and dance and mingle and talk to other people. So we keep the talking to a minimum. And that's kind of our signature thing. We kind of don't do a long program, short program. Everybody knows why you're there. And you're here to have a good time, and you're supporting the Boys and Girls Club, helping kids. So the kids will perform. We have kids performing every year.
Are they going to be performing in October 26th?
They will. They'll be performing there. They'll be performing to songs from the 70s. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And and the kids are a big part of of the event. We make sure they're there because that's people want to see that, and it's great to see. It's fun to see the kids, and it's a great experience for them too.
And
it's
these are the kids that are part of your programs throughout the year.
Yeah, so we'll pick different kids from different clubs, and we let the staff do it, and they create with this whole number and routine and all sorts of different dances and stuff like that. So they'll be there. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And like I said, like you mentioned, the Lowe's is a great location. It's very centrally located. It's a really nice venue, and everybody's excited to just have a great time there.
Absolutely. And people can volunteer. They can become board members. They can donate. How do they support?
Sure. I mean, the simplest way is go online, go to our website, and donate. Right, that's the easiest way. But and we definitely need that.
And it's bgcmia.org.
That's right. You got it.
So they can become part of your family.
They can become part of our donor family. Look, we can't do this alone. We're only as good as the community that supports us. We can have all these amazing ideas and programs for kids, but until a community says, "Hey, I like that idea. Let's help you make that happen," we can't do it. And it's we talked about at the beginning. It's about the individuals. It's about the corporations. It's about the community. It's about, sometimes it's not, money's important, of course, but sometimes it's not about the money. It's about sitting right here and spreading the word and say, look at the good work that's going on. Be part of it, help it. All of our sports programs, our basketball programs, our football programs, our cheerleading programs, our flag football, all of them, we rely on volunteers. So sometimes they look, I don't have the resources, but I would love to be part of that, and I'd love to help out and volunteer. I coached my kids, I coach kids, I played basketball. I want to do this again. We need everybody. Everybody has something to offer in this community that can help us help the community.
And it does take a village.
It does.
And the
always.
Big thing that you've been doing is, I hear it. Dun, 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 dun. Christmas trees.
Christmas trees.
Oh, you didn't know what that was?
Yes. Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, no,
come on.
yeah. You're,
Dun, dun, dun,
you're
dun.
off a little. I'm just kidding.
So when is the lot open?
Yes.
Tell me about the locations. We have pictures. I'm going to end this interview. I'm going to finish it.
So yeah, and that's we talked about the events, right? The galas and the Joes and the golf and all that. But this is the labor intensive event that we do. And this
But everybody looks like they're smiling still.
Well, because we haven't started working yet. So this has been going on for about over 50 years.
Wow.
We're selling Christmas trees to the community. It's become a community thing. And we have generations of family. Like, we have grandparents that, my kids came here. Now my grandkids are coming here buying trees. So it's becomes a thing. We always open the Monday before Thanksgiving. So whenever Thanksgiving, that Monday before, we open our doors from 9 in the morning to 9 o'clock at night.
Where?
At US 1 and 32nd Avenue. That's the location it's always been. We sell premium trees. I go up every year. And
Is that you? Are you Santa Claus?
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay. All right.
No, we always get a really good Santa Claus. That would not be a good one. And so I go up every year and pick the trees out. I go to North Carolina because we sell premium trees. If you kind of see by the pictures, our trees are really, really full. And that's one of our signature things. We have the best, freshest trees. Our trees were cut probably between 7 to 8 days before.
Look how pretty that is.
See that?
That's
and those
so
are
pretty.
smaller trees. But they all look beautiful and full. And that's kind of the goal. The goal is to have that tree that nobody else has. So we go to really small farmers that take a lot of pride in North Carolina. We don't go to these enormous growers that are just growing trees for the chain stores. We go to very specific growers. These are some of the trees you're seeing here now. Those are your 12 to 13-foot trees. And they're beautiful. We prepare them, we deliver them, we do everything. We're full service kind of thing.
Oh, I love the car too.
Yeah. That was a customer. I was buying a car. I was, hey, could you put it here for a picture? Because this thing's awesome. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's about 2 to 3 weeks of a lot of hard work because we work 12 to 14 hours a day. But again, it's for a good cause. It's for the boys and girls. So we have a great time, and a lot of people come out, and we sell a little bit over at this point. We're about a little over 3,000 plus trees.
Look how cute they are.
Yes,
They're so sweet.
That's at the opening when we do we do kind of the ribbon cutting, and it's a lot of fun. But then the Thanksgiving weekend, it's crazy. It's really insane. Just to give you an example, on Friday we open 9 to 9, right? We sell an average of one tree every 67 seconds for 12 hours.
What?
Yes.
Wow.
That's why it's so hectic. Hey, that guy, I don't know who that guy is. That guy's questionable.
But he's only 20 years old,
That's
right?
true. That's true. He's much wiser now.
That's your twin brother.
But that's
right?
when we go up to, and I select trees, and we're looking at trees and kind of looking at the quality and all that kind of stuff. So it's a lot of fun. Something I didn't expect 21 years ago, that I'm going to become like a Christmas tree expert kind of thing, that I had to learn that, trial by fire, but I did. And it's a lot of fun too.
Alex, you are a gem.
Oh,
and it's been a pleasure getting to know you in the 30 minutes of our relationship here. And the work that you do is amazing, bringing the community together, affecting over 6,000 lives in 6 different locations. And if you want more information about the Boys and Girls Clubs of Miami-Dade, it's on the crawler below. I want to thank you for our time together, and good luck with all your upcoming projects and in the future. And I'm glad to have been part of your journey today.
Well,
thank you.
Thanks for the opportunity to be here and talk about it. I really appreciate that.
Thank you. And thank you for joining me today. I'm Fara Sax. Until next time, take care of yourself.